What's crack-a-lackin' Rosmeister? Hope that you're all doing well there, home girl. In today's workout, we are going to be mainly doing a lot of back work. We're going to be doing some core work, and we're going to be doing some glute work at the end as well. To start off the workout today, we have banded external rotations, we have banded pull-aparts, and we have shoulder dislocations as well. So this is going to be a lot of upper back stress, and it's going to be getting some shoulder mobility in there as well. So first, we're going to start off with the standing external rotations. Here is a little video of them so you can see what they look like. So all you're going to do is you're going to get your green band for this one. By the way, don't mind me there. I look a little bit slanted, but I appear to be standing a little bit off angle to the camera, and I'm using a like a wide angle lens as well, so I think it just looks a bit ski whiff. But what you want to do is grab a hold of your green band. You are going to start off in this position here. So you want to get your elbows dug in towards your side. You want to pull your shoulder blades back, so you want to try and think about spreading the distance of your collarbone. Pull your shoulder blades back, get your elbows in towards your side, turn your palms up to face the sky, grab hold of the band, try and keep your elbows stuck into your side as hard as you can do. That is really, 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 really important in this. My elbows drift a little bit out towards the side here. Even this, I would say, is like, that is like the most that we want this to happen. Keep your elbows in, wedged in as tight as you can. And all you want to do is squeeze your hands towards the outside whilst keeping those elbows squeezed in. Just yanking the band apart like so. From behind, it looks like this. Trying to keep those shoulders pulled right back together and literally just trying to keep the elbows in as stationary of a position as possible, just pulling that band right out towards the side. 10 or 15 reps is going to see that melting, and we should be able to feel that pretty much directly on top of the shoulder blade itself and a little tiny pinch just underneath it. The back of your shoulders themselves may get a little bit of a burning sensation, but on top of the shoulder blade and just underneath the shoulder blade should feel this nice and warmly. After that, you'll be going through some banded pull-aparts, which I know that you're already well familiar with. And we're going to be doing them for 3 sets of 10 to 15 as well, which straight after those external rotations is going to burn like crazy. After that, you're going to be getting through some shoulder dislocations, which is a dynamic stretch for the shoulders that the bands assist with. So here is a couple of reps of me doing this movement. With this, again, grabbing your green band is going to be perfectly fine. You want to start off with the band in front of your body. And you're going to be testing your shoulders flexibility here. So start off, band in front of your body, grab it at about 1.5 times your shoulder width for the first set, and we'll see how you get on with it. And literally just raise your hands up and over yourself as if you're trying to bring your hands right back down towards your waist. And let the band pull your shoulders back together. Now, if you have a little look here, as I'm pulling the band up, my shoulders spread apart and then back down again. I am not actively trying to pull against this band. That is my poor shoulder flexibility at that range, just there, forcing the band to go open wider because the band isn't quite strong enough to pull me together too tight, which is a good thing. We want a little bit of resistance to help pull us in, but not enough to force us into positions that we're not ready for yet. So yeah, grab hold of the band, pull them right back over, and let the band pull you straight back down. Again, in this movement, you want to keep your shoulders pulled back. So I've just demonstrated that here. I'm going to pull the shoulders back, bring the band round, bring it right round until I come round to the back of my waist there. We want this stretch to kind of feel like a 7 out of 10 on the dynamic tension inside your shoulders. We don't want it to feel like it's ripping your shoulders apart. So just get your grip as wide or as narrow as you need. And when you're doing it, you also want your grip to be wide enough that your shoulders can move in synchronization with each other. So if it feels like one of your shoulder blades is kind of popping right over the other one and like your arms are really uneven, just get your grip a little bit wider so that you can try and move your arms in sync better. If it gets a little bit too tight, usually you can still make the full circle, but it requires one shoulder to kind of roll over the other one. So yeah, 3 sets of 10 to 15 on those first 3 exercises. This last one here shouldn't create any kind of real big burn at all. I mean, it may do with your back being fatigued, but it's more of a stretch and less of an exercise that is going to be causing any kind of fatigue. After that, we're going to be getting on some banded rows. So as a little demonstration of the movement right now, this is one that we're going to be doing for your lats. Now that we worked on your upper back, we're going to be working more the musculature of the lower part of your back. So when you grab hold of these, what you want to do is get your green band again. That should be absolutely fine for this one. Whack the band over your feet. If you need to, double over it, go for it. And when you grab hold of the handles, I know that you haven't got handles like the way I have, so you just grabbing the band scrunched into your fists is going to be completely fine. But just make sure that you try and keep your fists either neutral or with that palm faced up a little bit towards the sky, and we're going to be okay. Do not let your hands internally rotate as you do the movement. Now, for the technique itself, you just want to pull your shoulders back together, and you want to pull the band as close towards your thighs as you can do, and aim to get your elbows down towards your pockets. So shoulders are pulling back and down, elbows are pulling back and down, and my hands are staying fairly close to my thighs. That allows more tension to be able to go to the back. What you want to be careful of is that a lot of people use their arms, their bicep strength a bit too much with this, and they'll pull the band sort of towards the mid-chest. Try and keep it low. Keep pulling the shoulder back, keep pulling the elbows back, and you're going to hold the peak contraction, for 3 counts at a time. So look just here. I'm going to pull them back and go 1, 2, 3, and let them come out straight again. Pull them back, and that's 1, 2, 3, and back out straight. We have a check from that from the side. That is pull right back, 1, 2, 3, let them go forward, pull them right back, and you can see that I keep trying to pull my shoulders back into position as well. Like I'm not just letting that shoulder blade rock forward there. If you find that that is not enough tension to really give you any kind of difficulty for a set of 10 to 15 reps, which I think it will be if you're doing the counts, it's a pretty burny exercise this, then what you can do is you can double over the band. Sorry, you can throw both handles over just one foot, and you can pull both the handles with just one hand. So we're going to be doing it single arm style. This really is going to increase the difficulty, which is great if you're just using limited equipment. So yeah, the single arm variation is fine as well. Same kind of technique. You want to pull that shoulder back as you're pulling the bands back. You want to keep on trying to pull it down. You can actually see my shoulder drop down there a little bit. And you want to keep trying to pull your elbow right down towards your hips and keep that hand as close towards your thighs as you can. That, as I said, is going to work the lats more. You probably feel burning just on the back of your shoulder, but it should come just underneath the shoulder blades and sort of down the sides of the back if we get this right. After that, you're going to be doing that with a super plank. A super plank is a plank with increased core tension. So have a little look at this, and you're going to see that first I'm doing a plank that's kind of relaxed, and then I'm going to pull up tight just now. There we go. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to activate the use of the abs better. The abs' job is to close the distance between the hips and the ribs. So if I get in a plank here and I'm kind of relaxed, like my shoulders are relaxed, my feet are relaxed, the core might be getting some stress, but we're not really using the core to its full effect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my elbows down into the floor as though I'm trying to saw my elbows down into the floor, like I'm trying to pull my elbows in towards my rib cage. And I'm going to pull my toes up the floor like I'm trying to basically pull my toes kind of straight in towards my stomach. It'll kind of feel like you're doing a big crunch against the floor. So here I am, just kind of relaxed, and then pull my elbows down, pull the toes up. Again, look at this, look at my shoulder. You can see my shoulders relaxed there. And then as I pull my elbows down, that shoulder pops right up into a better position. If you look at my toes, I'm relaxed there on my toes, and then as soon as I try and pull up with my feet, I get right up onto my tippy toes and there's way more tension. So yeah, this exercise we're going to be looking at doing up to 30 seconds, but honestly with this technique, even 15 to 20 seconds usually is a killer. After that, we're going to be doing some banded shoulder presses, which again is more of an upper back movement that we're going to be doing, but it should stress the backs and the sides of your shoulders as well. So they should get a good little burn going on there. Here's a little demonstration of the exercise. It's one that we're going to be doing relatively slowly. And what you're going to do is get one of your loopy resistance bands. The weakest one should do perfectly fine with this. You won't need much strength at all. You're going to put them over the top of your wrists. It can be anything within about the first 4 or 5 inches of your forearm. And what you want to try and do is start off in a position where your elbows are just a little bit wider than being directly tucked in front of you. But the main thing that's going to create this shape is the shoulders being pulled back and your wrists trying to press out to be a little bit wider than your elbows. If you have a little look right now, my wrist is exactly in line with my elbow. I'm not letting my wrist collapse inwards. Like just here, the elbow comes out a little bit more there. But I'm not letting that wrist collapse inwards. I'm trying to keep my wrists pressed against the band as hard as I can do. And I'm trying to dig my elbows towards my sides. So what's going to happen here is when we start off in this position, elbows are tucked in, wrists are against the band. I'm going to press directly up, keeping my hands in a neutral position until my arms are either side of my ears and my hands are straight up there as I can get them. Then as I start low, like a little bit of slack will come off the band there. But then as I start lowering back down, I'm going to keep your wrists pressed against the band as hard as I can. I'm just going to think about bringing my elbows in front and then down towards the side of my body. But I'm going to be thinking about driving my elbows in and pressing my wrists out the entire time. So if we get this right, the upper back muscles and some of the muscles in the center of the back, like your mid-trapezius and lower trapezius, should be feeling this working. But directly the back of your shoulder blade, the backs and the sides of your shoulders likely will get it as well. So yeah, this is a difficult movement to master this, but you'll find that when you're going through this, even just like a set of 10 absolutely melts, and after all the other back work that you're doing today, I would not be surprised if your weakest band even gets you going a bit less than that, but we're aiming for a set of 10. We're aiming for a set of 10. But if that comes down to like 5 reps and you're burning like crazy, don't even stress over it, because that's a good thing. After that, you're just going to be complementing it with some mountain climbers for just a little bit of additional frontal shoulder stress. Get the triceps just woke up a little bit for the day, but also just to get that core some better direct involvement. Now, if you look at my mountain climbers, they are real strict. What I focus on here is the abs job, which is partly to bring the hips in closer towards the torso, but it's also to be able to bring the knees up towards the torso as well. So when I start off in this position, we've got a straight arm plank. I have my shoulders like pushed pretty hard into the ground here, trying to keep my shoulders directly over my wrists. You can pull your shoulder blades back together if you feel a bit more comfortable with this one. I'm trying to get my hips like kind of, my words are going crazy everywhere there. Trying to get it from my feet and my hips to the upper part of my back, all being in a straight line. I'm right up on my tippy toes here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring one knee in at a time and breathe out as I bring that knee in. So that's an exhale and a crunch. Exhale and crunch. What I'm not doing is climbing ladders, which is what a lot of people do in mountain climbers. You want to see that knee as like a pendulum weight coming underneath there, increasing the core tension, and then squeezing your abs as it gets up towards the top there. This makes mountain climbers a real good core exercise, and not really like this weird kind of cardio movement that a lot of people do. So yeah, shoulders right over wrists. Keep a flat back throughout the entire time. Even when you're extending your legs, think about extending your legs until your glutes get to contraction before you put it on the floor. So right back, and I'm being quite proud there about my legs. It's like straight back. I'm not just trying to find the floor as quickly as I can. Try and extend that leg, get the glutes out there, and we're going to be good. But the main thing is going to be breathing out and trying to squeeze that stomach every single time you breathe. You bring your knee in there. After that, last exercise for the day is going to be some single leg biased hip thrusts. This is not a single leg hip thrust, it is a biased single leg hip thrust, so the work is just going to be predominantly on one leg. Here's a little example. I'm just going to start off at the top, put my heel by the toes of the working leg, and then I'm just going to focus on pressing through that working leg all the way. So when you're setting up for this movement, here's what I advise that you do. Do a 2-footed hip thrust first and start off from the top of your range of motion. This looks a little bit low for me here, but this is locked out quite well. I think just my camera and my t-shirt being tucked in has given a bit of an illusion here. So yeah, get to your locked out position, and then with the non-working leg, you want to extend that foot out until your heels are kind of in line with your toes of the other foot. You don't need a big extension here. Like literally just you extending that leg a little tiny bit is going to take an awful lot of stress off it right away. Then, if we're starting from that position as well, like near the top, then you also know what range it is that you should be aiming for the working leg, because your range might get reduced a little bit here, but you should still be able to get a good little glute squeeze at the top. So now I'm going to slowly let those hips come down, drive through that working leg right to the top, and when I'm pushing up there, I'm thinking about pushing through my heel and my toes at the same time, but you might find that it's just focusing on your heel lets you get a bit of a better contraction there. I'll keep your chin tucked in and my abs tight throughout the entire set. I find that if you pull your abs in tight when you're coming towards the lockout of a hip thrust, it really helps the glutes to be able to do their job better as well. So as you're coming up the top, keep the lower abs tight, press through the feet as hard as you can. We're going to be looking at doing up to a set of 12 on either leg here. After we're done with them, this is the last exercise. You're going to sit yourself down onto the end of a chair. You want to get your loopy resistance bands. You're going to put them just underneath your knees. Light or strong ones for this. Just give the exercise a go first and see what you think. And we're going to be doing some banded knee abductions. So what we're going to do is get your band just underneath your knee, sit on the end of a chair, stand with your feet just over shoulder width apart. You might want to get them to be about as wide as your squat stance is, so there's quite a bit of tension going throughout the band. Then what you're going to do is you're just going to let your knees collapse inwards under the tension of the band, and then you're going to press your knees out as hard as you can whilst keeping your feet planted on the floor. If you keep your feet grounded against the floor here, you should feel kind of like you come up right up onto the arch of your feet. But yeah, keep toes down, heels down. Let that band bring your knees right in and just press against the band as hard as you can do. You should be able to feel this in the side of your butt. If you have a little check just here, I've actually got my hands on the side of my glutes just so that I can feel this thing working. And make sure that you're not leaned over too much. This will work well if you are upright, but it will also work pretty well if you lean right back as well, which I think I did right here. There we go. Yeah, we always want to be in a little bit more of an extended position than we do in a collapsed position with this, so upright torso or lean back a little bit should be a good position for you to be able to get this exercise working well in. But yeah, there we go. We're going to be looking for up to 20 reps on this, but as always, I will include your rep ranges and such inside the description of this video, and I will send them over to you as well. Much love, homegirl. Hope that life's treating you well, and catch up with you soon. Bye.